right, we better get started. I think probably the first thing for me to do is show you exactly which bit it is that we're going to make tonight, because then it will probably become clear. So this is what we made last week. Oh, do you want to see mine? I can't decide what I'm going to put on the front yet, so I've just matted it. But then this is mine. I'm doing a Christmas version. So that's what I've done. I haven't decided. I'm going to do probably a scrapbook layout in there. But that's mine. So just to let you know, I am doing my homework. Just so you know. Right, so this is what we did last week, this page here. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to do this. Oh, hang on. Let's start again. This, which is what I'm calling the Gatefold Flap. Because when we open the book up, hang on. When we open the book up, this is kind of like the gatefold bit, if that makes sense. So this is the gatefold bit on the right hand side. So this is what we're going to make tonight. We're going to make this bit, which is 12 by 8. We're going to make this, which is a flap and a couple of pockets, which I didn't even realise there was 2 pockets in there. Such a long time since I made this. And then that's closed by some photo mats. The reason I said don't make your photo mats yet is because I want you to make sure that you make the body of your book up before you start putting lots of work into photo mats and get carried away, because you can make literally thousands. If you're going to cover them with photos or with paper, I don't suppose it matters too much, but I just don't want you to run out of stuff. You know, like using a favourite piece of paper that when we get later into the book you think, oh gosh, I wish I'd used that. So I'm not being mean, I'm actually being quite practical for a change. So when we get onto this part of the gatefold, what we've got here, let me just grab a mat. What we've got here is we've got another magnetic closure. There is now a video. It's on YouTube. It's in the group about how to attach magnets. So here we've got a double pocket, a double triangle pocket. Open that up and we've got a little pocket here on the back of that. We've got more of our photo mats here. And then here what we've got is we've got a pocket, but we've got a belly band here. So if I want to, hang on, let me just get this out so I can show you. If I want to attach things over, say, like that, just for a bit of added interest. Don't know why that won't go through. It's stuck. If I go onto that. Oh, so if I wanted to add some more bits over like that, I can do. And then some photo mats in there. So that's really what we're going to do tonight. Okay. So this is obviously the Travelogue book. If you're interested in the AB Studio book, I'll just show you that quickly so you can see that both books are exactly the same. They're just obviously different papers. So as mentioned, here we go. This is the AB Studio one with photo mats that I've popped in there, closed flap and photo mats there. Open that up. Here we've got our magnetic closure. We've got the photo mats that go into those triangular pockets there. Open it up and we've got that pocket, those 3 photo mats, and then the belly band, and then the pocket down there as well. Okay, right. So that's what we're going to make tonight. Your homework, of course, will be to decorate it. And then at the end, we're going to put it all together. So there we go. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Right, so I want you first of all to grab 2 sheets of 12 by 12. And if you've got any connectors left, do you remember the connectors that we made last week? You're going to need 3 of those. So if you've got 3, grab 3. As it happens, I have got 3 left. If you haven't, just make some more. So I want you to grab 2 sheets of 12 by 12. And I want you to cut them at 8 inches. So you're going to have, yes, Tracy, both sides of the photo flaps. You don't have to. If you want to put pattern paper on, put pattern paper on. It's up to you. Just be aware that the amount of pattern paper that you've got is limited. to a degree. Okay, so we're going to cut that. You see, these bits here you can turn into photo mats or more cat hairs or more connectors. So we're going to cut that down to 8 inches. So we've got 2 pieces that are 12 by 8 inches. Okay, now like I said, you need these 3 connectors. And I'm just going to fold. I've got one that's already burnished and folded and left over from last week. And I'm just going to do that on the other one. The bone folders should, I'm hoping, be with me on Friday. As soon as they come in, I will let you know. I've also managed to get hold of some more of the hole reinforcement punches that people wanted. So I've got some of those too. Right, okay. So I've got my 2 sheets that are 12 by 8 plus cat hair. And I've got my connector. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enclose this on 3 sides. So I'm going to put my one connector on there, and then one on there and one on the bottom. But I'm going to start with the shorter ones first. So I'm just going to pop some glue. Yeah, the connectors were 2 inches by 12 inches. So I'm just going to pop some glue onto my connector. And I'm going to place it so that one of my 8 by 12s just sits exactly the same way that we made the other one, with a slight gap between the score line and the top of that page that we've cut. Okay, glue that down. Then I'm going to attach that to the other 8 by 12 page by lining those up, popping some glue on the other side of the connector, and folding that over. If you want to cut this down to 8 inches before you start, go ahead, but I wanted to just make sure.
What's Darlene? She can't find.
What is it you can't find, Darlene? So I'm just going to trim that off. Okay, so that's attached the top of my page like that. Okay, now we're going to do exactly the same at the bottom. So pop some glue onto your connector. Ooh. Don't put it all over your page like I have. And we're going to glue that, leaving a tiny gap between the fold on the connector and the top of our page.
And is the connector on the right or the left?
And at this point it doesn't matter. We are connecting the top and bottom on the short sides, and either end. At this point it absolutely doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which way round it is, because you can have it either way. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to trim that off. Okay, so now my gatefold page is attached top and bottom with the connectors. But now what I need to do is close off one of these sides. And it doesn't matter whether it's that side or that side, Anne. At this point, it just doesn't matter. So I'm going to pop some glue onto that connector. Line my page down, and as you remember from last week, we're going to have a slight discrepancy in size. That doesn't matter at all because you're not going to see it once your pages are in. And then fold that connector over. Pop that in my thing. Okay. Probably could have done that a little tidier, but it'll be all right. There's no need to be scared, Anne. There's no problem at all. Nothing, you haven't done anything wrong. I know we had a bit of a chat yesterday, but it turned out all fine. You're second guessing yourself, which you shouldn't, because your instincts are spot on right. Okay? Right, so that is our base page. When it goes in the book, as you open your book, and this bit's for you, your opening will be on the right hand side. So this is what you see as soon as you open your book, and that is the side that we are going to work on now. Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to grab your trimmer, and I want you to cut a piece that is 8.5 by 9 inches. Actually, that's going to have to be out of 12 by 12 paper, thinking about it. It's right, because I've printed off the sizes. I've printed them off in black and white, so I don't know it's blue. So yeah, grab a piece of 12 by 12 and cut it at 8.5 by 9 inches. So, right. So that's 8.5 by 9 inches. Now I need to cut a piece that is, and I can cut this out of A4. I can cut this at 3.5 by 9 inches. So 3.5 by 9 inches. And I'm going to cut another one out of A4, which is 7 by 8 inches. Okay. Right, pop your trimmer away for a minute and grab your scoreboard. Right, so that first piece that we cut out of the 12 by 12 that was 8.5 by 9 inches, we are going to score on the 9-inch side, which means that we put the 9-inch piece at the top. We are going to score at 1/2 inch and at 8.5 inches, because this is going to form a large pocket. We're going to turn it 90 degrees, so we're now scoring on the 8.5 inch side, and surprisingly we are going to be scoring at 1/2 inch. Linda, the last piece that we cut was 7 by 8 inches. Okay, so from the piece of 12 by 12 card, I want you to cut one piece that is 8.5 by 9 inches. From a piece of A4, I want you to cut 3.5 by 9 inches. And then finally, also you can take from an A4 a piece that is 7 by 8 inches. Okay? Then we're scoring the big pocket, and we are scoring on the 9-inch side at 1/2 inch and at 8.5 inches, and we are then turning it 90 degrees and scoring on the 8.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. So what we've got is a large pocket with a U-shaped score. We've done these loads of times before. Okay. All right. So next I want you to grab the piece that was 3.5 by 9 inches. And once again, we're turning this into a pocket. So we're going to score on the 9-inch side at 1/2 inch and at 8.5 inches. We're going to scoot it round 90 degrees. So we're now working on the 3.5 inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch. So once again, a typical pocket here. We've got the U-shaped score marks so that this pocket is going to fit on top of that pocket. Okay. Our last piece is the flap that goes across the top, and we are going to score on the 7-inch side, and I haven't actually written what we're scoring it at. I know it's going to score at half an inch, but let me just double check before you do anything. Oh, I'll just measure this. That's, what am I doing? I know that's 8 inches. So we're going to score on the 7-inch, yeah, the 7-inch side. Oh dear, I'm not with it tonight, it's too hot. On the 7-inch side at 1/2 inch. So score on the 7-inch side at 1/2 inch. Hi Eunice. Okay. Right. You can pop your scoreboard away now. And we're going to do some mitering. So we've got these 2 pocket pieces here. Just check that's right. Yeah, because I'm having a bit of a brain freeze minute. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to miter the corners where the score lines intersect on our big pocket. So I was laughing at Mel the other day because she was going on about my kinky mitering, and I thought we should write a glossary of some of the words that we use, and you know, things like kinky mitering, big boner, gusset, all of these things. I thought it might be highly amusing, but then again, I'm English and the English find things like that very amusing, so there you go. Anyway, moving swiftly on, I want to miter the corners of this big pocket so you can see where the score lines intersect. I'm going to pop my scissors up to where that point is where they meet. I'm going to just twist my scissors slightly and chop off so I don't have a straight line across there. Yeah, sticky gusset, exactly, Tracy. I just thought that might be quite amusing. I thought I might do that.
That's why we've got a wet sponge.
And that, yes, thank you, dear. Now we've got a wet sponge. Okay, so now I'm going to fold those flaps. There you go. And I'm going to just burnish them to make sure I get a really good crease. Put those out of the way. And I'm going to attach this to my base page. Now, Anne, listen very carefully. Your opening needs to get, although not that it matters because it will work either way, but you need to put your opening on the right hand side, okay? Opening right hand side. What we're going to do is we're going to attach our pocket to the very bottom of that page. Now the pocket will be ever so slightly marginally shorter than the page. So I want you to attach it to the far left hand side. So if you've got a gap, it's going to be on the right hand side where the opening is, okay? So as you can see, because we put a connector on, my pocket is marginally shorter than my page. So I'm going to put my pocket as far to the left as it will go. So I'm going to pop some glue. And now I'm going to attach it to my page at the bottom, lining up with the left hand side, and lining up with the left hand side and the bottom of that page. Okay, right, so I'll just get that glued down and then I'll show you. If it really bothers you having that gap there, trim it off. It doesn't bother me, but if it bothers you, just trim it off. Okay, so I've attached my big pocket to the bottom of my page there. Okay. I'm not going to ask Tallulah. I'm not going to ask you what you've done. But messing up your connectors is serious stuff. Okay, so the small pocket, I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the corners. I'm going to mitre those. Fold over the pocket again. And burnish. And now this glues onto the top of that pocket that we've just done at the bottom of the page. Okay? So, oh, too much water. Ugh. No, thank you. I know. I had to squeeze mine. So, don't get your sponge too moist, ladies, but it does appear to work. Mine's just a bit wet now.
Yeah, I think the capillary reaction falls in water.
I think, okay, yeah, that's very technical. So now I'm just attaching my pocket onto the top of that big pocket right down. Oh, that's impressive. Well, yeah.
It's a furnace.
It's actually, it's easily done. That's why I do mine, to be honest with you, that's why I do mine one side at a time, because that is exactly what would happen to me. I can't deny it. Okay. And now the final bit. I'm going to fold on that one score line there. Just use my bone folder to get a really good sharp crease. I'm going to put some glue water onto that flap there. And I'm going to attach this to the very top of my page so that it covers the top. That isn't even straight. So that it covers the top of my pocket and everything lines up. Okay? Mel's being very quiet tonight. She must be working really hard.
Has cracked open that new pot of glue.
Has she? Oh, yeah. I had to do an emergency glue run earlier because somebody ran out of glue. And it wasn't me. Okay, so that is the front of our gatefold done. It's as simple as that. So what I need you to do with that over the next week is I need you to decorate it. Okay, so that is the front. That is, I'm just grabbing this one because it's nearest and it's got less photo mats in, so it's not so heavy. That is this. Okay, pocket, pocket, flap, photo mats. That's what we've just made. Now we're going to turn over and we're going to make this part of the book. Okay, so you can put that away for one bit, for a little bit, and we're going to have a look at the other side. So let's just have a look which bit would be easiest to make next. I think probably we need to make this smaller bit here, okay, before we attach it. This is the back of the page that we've just done, and then those connectors we'll just add in a minute, but I think if we do this bit next, that will probably be the best way forward. Okay, so I check I'm doing the right bits. So grab your trimmers. And let's have a look at these instructions. So I'm guessing that this is in blue because it looks a little bit less.
What is?
A little, the 12 by 6 and score on, yeah. Okay, so you're going to need a piece of 12 by 12 card. And I want you to cut it 12 by 6 inches. And on my new scoreboard thingy, I can see scoreboard on my new trimmer thingy, that's 6 inches. Okay. Right. Actually, I think if we cut the whole thing now, it will go together better. Right, so I'm going to start at the top now. So I want you to cut 3 pieces at 6.5 by 4. These are for the flappy photo mats. So we've done these last week. So 6.5 by 4, and we'll get 2 out of a piece of A4 with a piece left over for a photo mat. Okay, and we want 1 more, so I'm going to use one of my cut pieces that I've got left. Okay, so those 6.5 by 4, those are the flappy photo mats that go to one side. Okay, so put those to one side. Then we need to cut a piece that is, and we can do this out of A4, 7.5 by, no, 7.25 by 11 inches. So 7.25 by 11 inches. Then I want you to cut one that is 9 by 3.5. And this will be our pocket. Then the belly band is 9 by 2 inches. Then I want you to cut the closure bit, which is what we're going to attach our magnet to eventually, which is 4 by 2 inches. That should be just about 4 inches, I reckon. Oh yeah, that is 4 inches. And then finally what we're going to cut is the triangular pockets. So I want you to cut 6 by 6 inches . Yeah, but why is there 2? There doesn't need to be 2, does there? I don't think there needs to be 2. I've said cut 2 in the tutorial, but you don't. You need to just cut 1. Because what you're going to do is you're going to cut it in half. So what I want you to do is I want you to line up your 2 opposite corners of your square that you've just cut 6 by 6, and I want you to cut it in half so that you've got 2 triangles. So don't cut 2. You don't need to cut 2. You only need to cut 1. So you're cutting 1 piece at 6 by 6 inches, and then you're going to cut it in half to form 2 triangles. Okay. And that should be all the cutting out we're going to do tonight. You'll be delighted to hear. Okay, so scoreboard. Now, these triangular bits form those triangular pockets. So what we need to do is we need to score a 1/2 inch line on either side so that we can fold and make them into pockets. So what we're going to do is we're going to score on the sides where we've got that right angled triangle. So this long bit, we're not scoring on that side, we're scoring on the shorter side. So if you pop that up on your scoreboard like that, well, you can do it either way actually, it doesn't really matter, you can do it that way. You're just going to score at 1/2 inch, and then you're going to do the same that way. So what I've done now, what I've got now is I've got my pocket, but I've got 2 score lines intersecting on the right angled part of the triangle. Okay? And I want you to do that on both. So those are our 2 pockets there, the 2 triangles, and they'll go in like that when we put it together. It doesn't really matter which side you're scoring on. I've never been a big believer in folding on a particular side. If I've scored on one side, I'm never really too bothered on which I fold. I know that's not really technically right, but you know, needs must. So those are our triangular pockets. That's done. Now I want you to pick up the closure, okay, which was 2 by 4 inches, and I want you to score on the 4 inch side. So we're putting the 4 inches at the top. I want you to score at 1/2 inch, and I want you to score at 3/4 inch. So what we've got there is a 1/4 inch gusset. Okay. Maybe we've broken the internet, Helen. Or maybe it's just too hot. Okay, so that is our closure, and that's now got a 1/2 inch gusset on it. So let's put that to one side. We've got our belly band, which is 9 by 2 inches. And we're going to score on the 9 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 8.5 inches. So this is a normal, ordinary belly band. It is 9 inches by 2 inches. we are going to score on the 9-inch side at 1/2 inch and at 8.5 inches. Was that the bit you wanted me to repeat, Julie?
I have told you.
Was that it? Okay. Now we've got a small pocket. This piece is, oh, the one before, the closure. The closure is the piece that's 4x2, and we're going to score on the 4-inch side at 1/2 inch and at 3/4 inch to provide a 1/4 inch gusset, so that when we come to fold it, it's going to look like that. Okay. And that's our closure. Right, so now I'm looking at the little pocket. We've got a piece of card cut that is 9 by 3.5 inches. And I want you to score on the 9-inch side at 1/2 inch and at 8.5 inches. Scoot it round 90 degrees and score on the 3.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. And this is the regular pocket that we've made exactly the same way on the other side. Okay, so now we've got our 3 photo mats. We'll score those first. So we've got them, they are 6.5 by 4 inches, and these are the same as we made last week. So I want you to score on the 6.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and I want you to do that on each of them. Okay, so they've just got 1 score line on them for the flap at 1/2 inch. Okay, that leaves us 2 bits left. We've got one that's short and fat and one that's tall and a bit thinner. Sounds like Laurel and Hardy. So we're going to start with the 12 by 6 inch piece. Now for some reason I've written score on the 5-inch side. I think that should be 6 inch, but I'm just going to check. I wrote this tutorial as I made the book, so a little bit of a while ago. Yeah. Nope, that's fine. That's all good. Just checking. We're going to start, we're going to score on, let me, hang on, I'm confused now. I've confused myself. Oh yeah. Right. This one, the long thin one, is the pocket that goes on the back. So we're going to score on the 12-inch side at 1/2 inch and at 11.5 inches. This piece is 12 by 6 inches. Okay. We're going to scoot it round 90 degrees and then we're going to score on the 6-inch side at 1/2 inch. And that is this big pocket here that fits on the back of that flap. So there you can see we've got our triangular pockets. We've got this bit, which is the bit that we're going to do next, our page, and we've just scored that. Okay. So our last piece, which is 7¼ by 11 inches. I want you to score on the 7¼ inch side, so that's the 7¼ inches that goes along the top. Oh, here's Ruby. Ruby hasn't been to visit us yet. Hello, Roo. Yes. Can you get out of the way, please? Excuse me. Yes. Oh. Ruby's the oldest one. Ruby is, well, we don't know how old you are, do we?
Over 12.
She's over 12. Ruby was a stray who decided to come and live with us, and she is most definitely, thank you, Ruby, for your help, most definitely the one in charge. So, you know, could you move? Excuse me, please. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm just going to have to remove her. Come on, baby. Come on, come on. Oh, good girl. Good girl. There you go. Come on. Right, so that was Ruby. You don't see her very often. Oh, she's put footprints all over my card. Right, so you're going to score on the 7¼ inch side at 1/2 inch. And you're going to love this. I don't know if Hannah's watching, but she's going to love it. At 5/8 of an inch, which gives us a really tiny 1/8 of an inch gusset. Okay? Right, so you can score parallel lines here with an 1/8 of an inch gusset. So you're scoring at 1/2 inch, which is 4/8 of an inch. And then you're scoring at 5/8 of an inch. Ruby is beautiful. She is. We're very lucky with her. Every time we take her to the vets, they say, oh, a ginger female. We don't see those. Like, I know. And she's wonderful. I mean, I love all of our cats to bits, as you know. But Ruby knows how I feel. She just knows better than I do. And if I sing, she puts her paw in my mouth. And I think it's because she just can't believe that a noise so wonderful is coming from me. And she wants to know where it comes from. I'm sure that's why she does it. What do you think, dear?
I think.
You think so too?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so.
I show my appreciation by going in a different room.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if you heard any of that, cheeky sod. Right. Okay, so let's get this made. We're going to start by putting our triangle pockets on, I think. I've only got one. I did have two. Here we go. Right, so this is the flap page. This is the one with the mini gusset. Nice one, Jill. So what I would do first of all is just fold that into a gusset shape so we know roughly where it is. It's only a little one. Just a little tiny gusset. Okay. This flap here is going to attach to that side of our book. So when you've got the back of our, we've just done this bit, we've got 4. It feels more, Helen.
It does.
When we attach it, we're going to attach it to the back, so the flap's going to open that way, okay? So when you folded with your little gusset, Anne, I want you to keep in mind that the flap side and the gusset side at this point with this bit that we're working on is to the left. Okay? So grab your corner pockets and we are going to mitre in the same way that we always mitre, with a little bit of a kink. Okay? And we're going to fold those. And the first thing you'll notice when we fold them is that we've got these nice little wings on the end. We're going to cut those off. Now, you can either cut straight across like that with your scissors, or if you want to, cut it at an angle. It's entirely up to you. Oh, cut it at a better angle than that. That was a useless angle. So you don't, basically when we've got a pocket, you don't see those folds anymore. Okay? And you're going to do that on both. Yep, kinky corners.
Yeah, I've just seen that.
Kinky corners. We've got to do a glossary, haven't we, really? It's got to be done. Okay, so when I put those folds there, you can't see those wings anymore. So now I'm going to burnish those, make sure I get a really, really, really good sharp crease. What I'll do with the things that I want to change on the tutorial is I'll redo them, and I'm going to pop them in the group as one unit all at the end. So at this point, Tallulah, this seal doesn't matter, but you need to, with your flap, the one with the very narrow gusset, you need to have the gusset on the left hand side. So now this is my flap page, and I've got my gusset down here, and I'm going to add these pockets, these corner pockets, one there at the bottom and one there. Okay, so we've got a bit of a gap in between, that doesn't matter, but that's how we're going to attach them. Okay, we're going to attach them so that they are butted up to the second score line of our gusset. So here's my gusset, that's how it'll go into my book, and we're going to attach the pocket to there. Okay, to that score line. Diana, exactly right. Exactly right. However, to be honest, if you do it the wrong way round, it's not the end of the world, so long as you just make sure that it works top to bottom, if you see what I mean. So, we grab my glue, which no doubt is full of water again. Yeah. And I'm going to pop the glue onto the flaps of my triangular corner pocket.
Is this the paper with the skinny gusset?
Yes, this is. You're absolutely right, Tallulah. So what I'm doing is I am going to now stick down my triangular pocket right at the edge, but up to that score line. I'm not covering the gusset at all. I'm just touching it. Oh God! Touching it with the edge of my pocket. Okay, so let me just make sure that's stuck down, and I will show you. So here's my page. There's my triangular pocket. There is the gusset, and there's the flap. So when that will fold under there like that. Okay. I've stuck that on really, really badly. I'm going to just do that again because it's not at all in the right place. Right. Let's do it again because I'm not looking down on it. There's too much of a gap even for me there. Right, hang on, I'll take my glasses off. I might have to go off shot a minute just so I can get this in the right place. Okay, so I've now attached that. So my pocket is right at the end, but up to that first score line. And I'm going to attach the second pocket in exactly the same way over the other side. I'm just going to take this off camera a minute, otherwise I won't be able to see what I'm doing. And I'm just lining that up. There. Okay, so now I've got my page, my cat hair, front page with the two triangular pockets on. I'm just going to burnish that a bit better, my gusset, because it's not quite sitting how I want it to. Let's do that again. Okay, so that's now done. That is oh, I told you this book was unwieldy a bit when you're making it. That is this bit here. Oh, I'm losing all my mats. That's this bit. That's what we've just done. Okay. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to pop a pocket onto the back. So if you grab our large pocket, ooh, losing photo mats everywhere, and we're going to mitre the corner on that big pocket the same way we always do. So cut up to the score line, change the angle of your scissors, and then fold and burnish your flaps. Because this is quite a big pocket, I'm doing it a little bit more slowly just to make sure that I don't kind of get crinkly folds. Okay, and now I am going to attach this to the back of what we've just made. So I'm going to attach it here. I've got my triangular pocket. I'm going to put this now with the opening pointing outwards, but I'm going to attach this to the back of that bit, up to the gusset line there, but with the opening pointing that way. Okay. Hi Bianca. So I'm just going to pop a bit of glue on that. And I'm just going to attach that up to the score line. See if I can do it this time. So that flappy bit is done. I've got my two triangular pockets, and when I turn it over, I've got my large long pocket. Okay, so that's a large long pocket, and I've attached it up to where that mini gusset line is. Okay, we happy with that? Right, put that to one side for a moment, because what I want you to do is grab your 3 photo mats, and I just want you to fold and burnish those on both sides. So we get a really good crease. And I want you to grab your closure, which is this 4 by 2 inch piece with that 1/4 inch gusset, and I just want you to give it a bit of a burnish. So we've got a good sharp crease on our gusset. Okay? Right, are you working or talking about gussets and big pants? I love Bridget Jones. Brilliant. Right, okay, so you know that bit that we did first, the actual gatefold page? Well, I've lost mine. So hang on while I find it. Aha. Okay. Right, so here's my gatefold page with the bit that we made, and I've got the opening to the right. I want you to turn it over so the opening is to the left, okay? And I want you to take one of, oh no, right, I want you to take your closure. Now, whether you do this by eye or whether you want to measure it is up to you. But we're going to attach it halfway down the closed side of our page. So that's going to be roughly 6 inches, so it's about there. I mean, personally, I'd just eyeball this, but it's entirely up to you. So I'm going to put some glue on that bit of the flap, and I'm going to attach it halfway up my page like that. Okay, so this is the closed end. That is the closed end, and this is the open end of our book. Okay. Oh, pardon me, that was my shoes squeaking. I'm really sorry, that was my shoes squeaking. It really was. Okay, so right, so that's our closure on. So open that up, because what we're going to do now is we are going to add our photo mats on that closed side. So I want you to start with one of the photo mats flaps, put it at the top of your page, but instead of right at the absolute very edge, I want you to bring it in something like a 1/16 of an inch. And the reason I'm saying that is because of the closure. Okay, so line it up at the top of your page, but have a slight gap, something like a 1/16 of an inch. And you see I've got just a little tiny gap there, just a little tiny one. And then once you put the top one in, I want you to put the bottom one in exactly the same, but I want you to pop it about a 1/16 of an inch in. Which will leave us a gap for that middle one. But you see, if we just bring it in slightly, it means that our closure will go over it no problem at all. Okay, so now I'm going to just put some glue on that flap, and I'm going to attach it in between those two that we've already got. There might be a slight gap, that's absolutely fine, but I'm just going to bring it in ever so slightly from the edge of the page so that our closure will sit really nicely over it like that. Okay, all right, so there we go. We've got our closure going over our photo mat there. Okay, and those all open up nicely. Now we want to attach this flat page, and we want to attach it with the triangular pockets on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue onto that flap on the outside. Now you're going to say to me, why aren't we attaching this inside that open pocket? Well, the reason that I'm not doing that is because it can make it quite bulky when we come to put the binding on. So there is my reason why on this occasion we're not attaching it. So what we need to do now is we need to work out where the middle is, because this is shorter, and we're going to attach it so that it is centered top to bottom of our book like that, so that the gusset is overlapping the flap is the edge of your page here, and the gusset is over, okay? So the flap is attached to the page edge, but the gusset isn't. So that when we come to close those, this will then fit over the top like that, and our closure will fit there. And I would recommend a magnetic closure. Okay? Is that all right? Easy, isn't it? So all we've got to do now is just pop those bits on the middle here. So we've got 2 pieces left, and we're going to start with the pocket. No, they don't quite meet, Christy. There is a gap. No, Tallulah, that'll work too. It's just, it'll just mean that you're going to have to really work hard when you put your spines in, just to make sure that everything's stuck and glued properly. That's all. It's not the end of the world. All right, so got your little pocket. So I've mitered the corners, and I'm just burnishing that. And now I'm going to attach this pocket to the very bottom of my gatefold page, in between this flap and these photo mats. Okay? Oh. So I'm going to attach that at the very bottom there, right up close to those folds. No, Christy, you haven't. It's deceiving. The when you're making it, it's deceiving, but they don't match up. So don't worry, it doesn't go all the way across. Okay. So now we've got our belly band. Just going to burnish those edges. And I'm going to horrify now those of you who don't like freehand. And I'm just going to glue it into my book directly. If you want to measure it, you can measure it. I'll roughly tell you what it was. But I'm going to put this about halfway up. In fact, I'm going to line it up with the edge of that photo mat just to make it easy. And there we go. There's our pocket. And there's our belly band. And that oh, you might have to just make sure that that folds right around that pocket. Let's burnish your photo mats down so that they sit well. And there we go. That's the gatefold page. All done. So homework, ladies, is to decorate that up. And now, when we put it together, we'll have our page in the middle, but we're going to have our gatefold and our front page all done. Okay? So that concludes tonight's class. So, how many actually of you did that, and how many of you just discussed gussets?
And having a row.
And having a row. And detention. I never had detention. Mind you, that's my age really. We didn't have detention when I was at school.
Okay.
So there you go. Any questions before we finish? Or are you all alright? Brilliant. Well done, Terry. Well done, Julie. Well done, Mel. How late are you staying up tonight to decide what papers to use? Well done, Jill. Multitasking at its best. Hi, Anne. I didn't realise you were here. Hello, lovely. Ruth, have you been drinking? Sam, that's unusual. Well done, Linda. Brilliant, Lisa. Great stuff. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. Tomorrow, if you're doing the Bloom Street book, we will be doing the waterfall and the inside pocket. And then the week after, we'll just be kind of finishing off and doing the shaker pocket. So we're nearly there. And then I need to think about what we're going to do after that. So, well done, Helen. Brilliant. Right, guys. See you next Wednesday. For more of the 12x12 folio, but feel free to pop some pictures in the group of your decorated gatefolds, because that's always nice to see. And we will see you tomorrow for Bloom Street, or next Wednesday for the 12x12. Bye.